Here I am again, day two in a row. I missed my window to start. I wanted to start at 12 Eastern. It is now 12:43. Well, Eastern. Oh well. Here's my dog. I think she wants to get in shot. Here, come here. You want to get in shot for me, bro? You always want to get in these videos. I know you do. Come here. Oh, there we go. I have a German short-haired pointer, and oh man, she's a lot, dude. She is just a lot. But she likes to make her appearance in these things. So here we go. I'll show you. Are you even gonna look at the screen, bud? I mean, this is important, man. I have a really big live session I'm doing here. All right, you go play. And she weighs enough too. She weighs like a metric ton. It's all the treats I give her. All right, so let's get serious here. For anybody that shows up, anybody that watches this later, I want this to be high impact and high value. I plan to go for 30 minutes. Today, I want to talk about a company that I found in Inc. magazine called Cool that deals with AI avatars. And before we get started, this is episode number 2. Episode number 2. All right. So I'm actually really happy to do this. I used to speak at a lot of different events. I spoke at 50 some events in my career. I had a 20 plus year run with recruiting services, and I used to speak at all sorts of. Okay, I didn't actually expect you to take that. I'm gonna have to take that from you. Sorry, there's my dog distracting me. And when I was in recruiting, I spoke at a lot of different events over the years on everything from the hottest technologies that were coming in, and how recruiting departments, recruiters, talent acquisition leaders could take advantage of them. It went from kind of the early internet stage to mobile, and then as I was sort of transitioning out of recruiting, it was AI. AI was the biggest thing on the planet. About close to 3 years ago, I really started getting into AI. I saw this massive hockey stick growth, and then just recently, I really thought that doing a live series would be just um, super beneficial. I wanted to be able to give value out, and I also wanted to be able to hear back from what people are doing, not only in recruiting but in all sorts of different industries. So all that being said, I want to dive in on my topic today. And give me just one second here. We're going to share my screen out. And what I want to talk about is this continuing theme for this, for this live series will be around building businesses and building out your business ideas with AI. And so, again, I found this company that was the number one fastest growing company. Let me start with this. It was on Inc. Let me drop this out of here. Here we go. All right. I saw this company in Inc. magazine. It was called Cool, and got my attention because it's high tech. It touches AI, and it's a platform that basically to allows you to create avatars and to do face swapping and to basically create really personalized videos to put out. And so they look like they are, we're getting a lot of attention, obviously, because they were ranked as the fastest growing company. I don't know if you're as familiar with Inc., but they rank the fastest growing companies. Typically, they are small to mid sized companies, and these are kind of the companies that are emerging onto the scenes. They get a lot of attention through that list, much like Forbes. And Fortune has their lists of companies. Those are usually the big companies that are in the news, that are around the financials of the bigger companies that are out there. You know, I actually gravitate more towards the companies in the Ink magazine because, and I grab that magazine off the shelf every year because I like to have a hard copy. I'm a little older school, but I like to see the companies that are really kind of emerging on the scenes. That gives you an indication of what's trending out there. And this thing is broken out into different lists, right? There's software, there's financial services, there's healthcare. The list is out online; it's publicly available, but the magazine breaks out the stories and so forth. But cool is the number one for this year, 2025. And as you can see on the screen here, it's they turn basically your ideas into video, right? Or helping you in that area. They have a number of different products here. They have image to video, and then they have this live face swap, and they can allow you to stream with avatars. Basically, the way I see this is, and I haven't used it, but I've done a little research on them. Basically, what I understand is they allow you to have avatars in real time representing your business or representing you online on your website or in videos, or it can be where you can actually uh, create a whole video and then swap out an avatar for you if you don't like the way you look in front of a camera, you don't like the way you talk, or the way it's presented, or you want to present from the moon, or present from inside a burning volcano with lava shooting out. This is what you do. You can get it in here. You can get it in a service like this. Um, so I'll walk through just a little bit of their website. It lays it out kind of nicely. So it's a real time AI studio, and they have got a lot of users there. Look at that, 7 million users. I thought that really popped off the page to me. So here's what you can do. You can customize your content. So you can have an avatar that you can have stream right online. You can, I'm going to go over to this one right here. You can do a hyper realistic AI avatar that lip syncs in real time, and you can replace your live video with your digital twin. I actually thought that was, I mean, I can see where the excitement is around this product and similar products. We'll walk through that in a second. You can do a face swap again, with your photos and videos, and then turn them into other things. And then you can do all sorts of video translation. If you're only selling products here into the US, but you want to go international and you want to have something that you created translated over into multiple languages with an avatar, this is a product that you can do that with. And much like a lot of these services that are in that AI space, almost regardless of the tool set of what it does, what the use case is and the tool, they really kind of fall into this lower end model for like around $20 a month. You look around, you'll find all sorts of different AI products that are right around in that kind of that price point. It's 20 to, this is 30 if you go for a monthly package. Yearly, you're up at 21. And they're all kind of credit based. I'm sure if you're looking around at different products and evaluating, what kind of AI tools do I want to use, they're really all kind of token or credit, or how many times that you get to use it, or they're kind of like with Midjourney's more hourly based. Um, but again, it's kind of how many times that you're iterating, how many times you're clicking the button and prompting and asking it to do something for you and to give you an output. That's really what these tools are based around, your usage. And again, I think that this is a really interesting space here. I did a Google search here, and there's a lot of different competitors to a cool in this space. Synthesia, which I was a little familiar with by name, and I haven't used this product, but this is one of the bigger ones. And again, it's prompt to video, right? Your text to video, and they also have their own suite of different their own a product suite that you have there, and you can see right on screen that it's allowing you to go in and kind of play around with a slideshow, drop in videos, change out who's actually narrating it, putting it into different languages, all these different things, right? So these are really cool products that you can get your hands on. Runway is another one as well. When I saw Runway come out, I think it was a couple years ago, I looked at this site and I was like, wow, this has got to be, really expensive. And they're really not. There's just so many of these, and it depends on what your use case is and depending on what you need. I mean, if you're really going for super high-end video, there's a lot of these AI companies out there that you can use. And and again, it just depends on what your use case is and what your market is and who you're trying to target. But I always go through this you know I go through a kind of I look at these businesses and I always think to myself, as a solopreneur, as a single business owner, uh, how can I create something for myself that would be potentially a competing product? Although I don't like the idea of directly competing against something. I like to think of what's something creative that plays off of that same idea. Because I know if a cool is the fastest growing company, in that small to mid-sized business space, and they're in the AI space, and then the avatar space, it's video creation, right? And right in that area. What are some products or services that are around that I might be able to create? Something that I can create for myself today, and build off of it, and realistically have something in place inside of a few weeks to 30 days in that range. Something that I can create with my own bank account, and I don't need to go out and get VC funding for. I honestly think that the VC funding for a lot of ideas is not needed. You can really get up and running with super powerful ideas using AI right now. And so I have this prompt that I had put together, and I kind of tweak it and change it quite often. But really, what I'm looking to do in ChatGPT is to go in and have it brainstorm with me, right? I'm using the power of AI to help me figure out what are some business ideas that are around the idea of a cool and their business, and that I could start immediately. So I give it a nice prompt, and I go through and I ask it to give me different names and titles up front. Okay, what kind of an idea are we talking about, and what could the name be called for it? And then what's the idea? Okay, who is this for? What's the market and the business and the category? Is this financial services? Is this for technology? Am I going after consumers? Am I going after large enterprises? What do you see this for? The competitor landscape. I like to have it use its research tools to and capabilities to quickly go out there, find the places where there are true signals, right? Real signals of businesses that are doing these type of things, that surround the idea. So, okay, ChatGPT, you're coming up with a couple of ideas for me, but why are you giving me these ideas? Give me some input around. Are there major markets for this? Are there untapped markets? Are there products that could be brought to market that are really not there yet, but there really is a true need there? So I ask it to look through Reddit. I ask it to look through Twitter or X, whatever you're calling it. Scour Facebook groups. Go out and do a mainstream search for mainstream media. Give me the demand around this, right? And there's all sorts of different tools. I will share out uh, this particular prompt so you can have it. I did that with my first live series that I did yesterday. So I'll have this for you, and it's long. What it did is it came out with 5 different ideas. The first one really grabbed me when I looked at this. Okay. So this was, again, an idea that complements rather than directly competes with. Because if you're saying, hey, I want to directly compete with a cool, give me another rapper and a different name, and I could go right out and try to do the same thing. Although I will tell you, as a solopreneur, what they have built, you're going to have a development team around you, and you're going to have to spend some money, and you're going to have to really dig into the weeds to figure out, okay, how do I build a platform and a whole setup like they have? Seems complicated, and it probably really isn't, but it's a lot of time, effort, and money to get in to be a direct competitor, especially to that one. My big take on this is to really go after something that complements it, and that's something that is ease to start and doesn't cost you as much money. The first idea I actually thought was really good. And actually, you'll see as we go through the different ideas, and then I'll break out this one a little further. But you'll see with this one, they call it Avatar Ad Lab. I'd probably, tweak the name to something like, this one, Avatar Ad, or, I like having the A in it for the AI. But this is a premium custom AI avatar marketing creations. And so this is allowing you to basically have custom branded avatars, faced swapped marketing videos, and localized multilingual campaigns. All things that a cool is capable of doing. But here's the catch. Here's what really caught my eye. It's for people that don't have the skill in-house or time. So you're basically targeting small to mid businesses easily at that end to start, that don't necessarily understand this space with video creation with AI. I think a big play here, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again today. I think a massive play right now, a massive land grab is around going after individuals, small businesses, and even groups, like big groups inside enterprise companies that are just not technical. They just don't have the time to like stop what they're doing and then dive headfirst into these tools. That's where you have the advantage. You have the advantage of the time. If you go out and invest time to understand these platforms, understand this space, take a few weeks, dive in, learn it, you can turn around and develop a product, a business around it extremely fast, extremely cheap too, and get yourself up and running. You're the one coming to them now as the expert. You're the one saying, hey, look, I'm going to save you money and time around AI tools, and specifically with this one around AI video creation. And that's what I think is huge. Look at this. Since brands often run multiple campaigns, it's become repeatable and it's subscription friendly. And again, we talked about Synthesia. It's actually my tongue twister, right? Tools like Synthesia are competitors, right? Just give me a competitor landscape here. They talked about on Reddit and marketing forums that clients complain about video localization is expensive, takes weeks, hard to personalize at scale. Okay. They also talk about in here, GPT goes forward with the competitive landscape and looks at the demand analysis, talking about keywords that are finding out there around personalized video ads, face swap advertising, and AI avatar marketing. It's interesting because I haven't really seen a lot, or at least I'm not aware of it when I'm looking at an ad coming through, when I'm like looking at an ESPN sports highlight and an ad comes up for 30 seconds or 15 seconds before. I'm not aware if I'm looking at AI or not. I mean, every once in a while, something grabs me and I'm like, wow, that looks so perfect. There's just something about it that doesn't seem like it was real. Every once in a while, okay, you will catch something that's like, okay, yes, that's definitely AI and they're leaning into it. But for the most part, I'm not seeing that yet, but I know it's there. I mean, look at these companies that are popping up and look at how much money you can get a feel off of what they're making. I want to go through this idea a little further, and I'm going to talk about the signals around this. I think what's really important that I missed yesterday is around signals and why you should start them, right? But let's talk through the business model very fast here. If you're doing these campaigns, the way that they would have this priced out is 3 campaigns for $5K. So what is that like? 1,700 a piece, 1,800 a piece. What is that? Yeah, something like that. $1,750 a piece, somewhere in there. And that gives you 60K annual recurring revenue. That's yearly. That's on the low end, but you can package this however you want, right? It just depends on what you think that the market would run for that. Keep in mind, you're basically using for this type of a service, you're using a Cool or Synthesia or maybe even a runway. There's a bunch of them. You're having these little subscriptions. You're using those as your tools on the side to create these campaigns for these companies. Because again, there's like you're the middleman between all this. So I love this idea. You're going right into businesses and saying, hey, what are you doing for your advertising? Are you using AI? I can turn around campaigns to you. I can turn around creative to you extremely fast. Here's what I'll charge on a per campaign basis. And then from there, I can roll into a subscription and be a service for you every single month that you tap. They go all the way up to 10 clients on a tier two. Tier two would be 10 campaigns, putting it out into 5 different languages. So if you want to have it blasted into multiple countries that don't speak your language, it's 15K a month. It's 180K uh, annual recurring revenue. But if you keep going up, you can see this being a 1.8 million, or even aiming at 3 clients at tier two. That's 540K for 10 clients at tier two, which 10 camp. Yeah. I mean, there's good money here. There's really good money here. And I know there's a lot of people that have lost their jobs recently on LinkedIn. They're looking for ways to create income. If you master a tool like this, you can take this example and run with it in a lot of different things. But if you master an AI tool and then you create a company on top of it around it, right? You don't even need to tell them what you're using. I mean, that's in your secret sauce. You know the tools. I know how to do AI and I know how to do video creation with AI. And then, again, you're bringing that out as a subscription service to them. Here's the tools that they say that you'll use. So a Cool's API. So that's video, avatar, and face swap as the back end. But you can sub in a Cool for Synthesia, Runway. There's a lot of these. If you do, again, coming back to this screen here, Google competitors for a Cool, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I didn't even go through all of them. HeyGen, Sora. There's ways to kind of figure out Sora to do this as well. I can guarantee that you can get very creative using the different AI tools and get right into that. No code automation tools, Zapier, which I mean, I still use it for certain things, but N8N is one of the big ones that a lot of people have been really getting into. If you haven't seen it, I'm just pulling it up on screen so you can just get a snapshot of it. This is actually a very simplistic look at it. But you can really set it up in daisy chain and pipeline out. I want to have my service start here and end here, right? You can do it for easily for like when leads come in. You can do it for customer service. You can do it for collecting payments, all sorts of things, right? So that's what it's telling you to do, is to use N8N for your workflow, client intake, script approval, delivery. My recommendation would be N8N is a super powerful tool, but I would suggest actually to get up and running, you handle all the service yourself. This is when automations get into when you get into a level up. When you get into a level where you're like, we're making good money now. I'm feeling the strain of being a solopreneur. I need to hire somebody, but I don't have the money for it. That's when you talk automation. We'll get into that in another episode. Then the tools. Figma for avatar design. Figma is its own beast as well. There are other tools out there where you can do creative work. But yeah, I mean, if you need to have your avatar designs come out of something, you can hire someone to do them for Figma for you, right? Stripe for billing. There's a couple other things there. And then of course, you'll want to have a subscription for GPT. Honestly, if you're not using GPT, at least the free version right now for anything, I mean, you need to immediately jump off this, dive into GPT over the weekend, dive into YouTube videos and get going on it, because there's a lot that you need to really kind of get up to speed on. I know for the sake of time, there's a lot of ideas here, but for the sake of time, I'm going to breeze through them very fast. And then I want to go through some of the signals that I was seeing here, because it's really important to know that if you're like, hey, I want to start this business right away. I want to start this avatar ad company. Go ahead and get the domain out of this call. And don't be afraid to go beyond the .com, right? I don't like the .net, but there's probably avatarad.ai available. These are really cool, or .io or .co. These are all very popular, and you're probably finding that the .coms are, it's really hard to get the .coms anymore. But other ones are, here's another one that sort of plays off of number one again. It's a video localization service for SMEs. Where was the part that I really like? Here we go. You specialize in the underserved mid market. And again, you're using a cool's translation and avatar tools. So, basically it's, these two services are almost in a similar area. You're the one helping clients to use these high-powered technical tools, these high-powered AI tools to do video and ad creation. And, whether it's they want it on their website, an avatar on their website greeting people, or whether it's in ads that actually go out to, you know, TV and ESPN or on Fox News, wherever they want to display, all those different places. Or if they just want to create really good YouTube videos for their channel, you can help them with that. Another one is this Brand Kit AI. This is a visual assets and templates marketplace. I also really like this idea, but you're gonna need to create a lot of assets first, and you're gonna need to create a a site that has that e-commerce capabilities. Not out of the question, but you're probably talking about easily 1 to 2 months to get a really good, proper, nice e-commerce site set up, and probably 1 to 2 months just to get good assets built out of the gate. Um, but I really do like the idea of a marketplace. If you look at tools that are being used for design and development right now, like Framer for building websites or Webflow for building websites, I'll just use those two as examples. Big, very popular uh, tools to develop websites and develop apps and things like that. And there's massive marketplaces that are built on top of and around them. So to make it easier to use, so you have novices and beginners coming in to use Framer, to use Figma, to use Webflow. And then you have these other sites that are on top of them. They're marketplaces saying, hey, we're independent, but we can give you components and pieces that you can pop right in and then, make you look like you're leveled up, or just to eliminate the time, eliminate that barrier to entry, right? And that's what they're talking about with Brand Kit. That's what this is talking about here in GPT. And I really like this idea, by the way. Whenever I do see, and I think here's a small disconnect I'm seeing. I saw this yesterday, and I'm going to try to correct this moving forward. But anytime ChatGPT pops up, any type of subscription service that is like not a major service, like a templated place like this, or you're sort of just getting a quick impulse purchase. I don't think there is a marketplace when it gets way up there. Because just think about this. ChatGPT, a plus version is like $20 a month, right? And then all these AI tools that I just mentioned, including a cool, I think that was $30 monthly. If you can stay inside that sweet spot, a lot of people, the market is really showing that a lot of people are willing to spend a 20, maybe 30, $40, right in that range every month for a monthly service. So if you can figure out how to get your products or a lower end package into that where it has good value, then I think you have something. Another one was around a training on and onboarding production setup or studio. And then the last one was a subscription tool for social creators, which is kind of like a little bit like the first two. And again, yeah, good price points, videos. I mean, look at this. Didn't explore this one as much, but I'm just looking at the business model right up front. I go right into the models. I look into, hey, how much money can I make on this? 49 a month for 10 videos a month. Okay. I mean, not bad, right? So, when I was going about this the other day, I'm like, hey, I want a more detailed breakout. So I come right back into GPT. I'm like, give me a more bigger breakout around the ideas. Give me the signals, because I really wanted to talk through the signals with you for a few minutes today. So going back to that avatar ad company, which has been sort of my focus here, I asked it to break out some of the signals and the trends. And it gives me a few, and I asked it to give me the links. I want the proof. The proof is in those links. Show me. So it talks about market signals, market and trend signals. And it talks about, look, on The Verge, they're talking about it quite often. Pop this up, and there was an article that just popped up, what, 5 days ago, 6 days ago? OpenAI adds reusable characters, which plays right in here. And it plays right into why a cool is, having so much, such a big, heavy traffic. There's such a big need for this. That was on The Verge. And then, oh, here we go. On SimilarWeb, there's two links over to SimilarWeb in here I did see around what the traffic looks like. And I pulled this up here. If you're familiar with SimilarWeb, SimilarWeb is a really cool tool. It used to have a free version, and then they took that away. And honestly, that pissed me off. It really did, because their solution is quite expensive. It's a couple $100 a month. I'll pull that up in a second. But every once in a while, I do like to go in and be able to see, you can get, a little bit of insight on some things, but not much anymore. But I like to see, what does the traffic look like? And this one just popped right out at me right here. It's 1.9 million visitors, and that's over the last month. The sum of all visits on desktop and mobile from the last month, 1.9. So that's a lot of traffic, right? Then it gives you an idea of the ranking and, kind of where it has been. You can actually see its traffic has gone down slightly, July, August, September. But you can see where it ranks in here. Um, yeah, this site is really good. Normally you'd be able to get a little bit more of data around it, like um, where that traffic's coming from, and some more insights in there. But this tool, if you can get access to it, if money is not so much of an issue for you, I could do an entire episode on this. It's not going to pull up the pricing on here, is there? Let's put it this way: when I did go through it, here we go. Yeah, it's like a three figures. When you get into three figures, it's like you go beyond impulse purchases. If you're anything like me, if it's in a two-figure range on a subscription service, my card comes out a little quicker. If you're into three figures, I really got to study it. I'm like, can I just get this somewhere else? If it's four figures, five figures, and up, I mean, you're talking about, I need a demo, I need a long thought process. Is there something I'm going to get rid of to, replace that? I mean, now we're really thinking hard. Just know that a lot of people are like that too. I can't be the only one, because there's a lot of evidence out here showing that two-figure subscription services, like under $100, 99 and under, get more credit cards to pop out. Then I came over into, oh, and by the way, I mean, like, look, I mean, I know that I wanted to show more on the signals in here, and it's saying here that pain points, demand, slack, marketers discuss desire for hyper personalized local creatives, but worry about cost and time. And also talks about, yeah, there was an article on Wired Magazine, consumer apps pushing deep fake style entertainment further to normalize the concept for marketing. And look at this one. Let me pop this up. OpenAI's new Sora app lets you deepfake yourself for entertainment. Yeah. Encourages users to generate a personal digital avatar. So where I see this whole thing going is, as this continues to move into more of this AI age that we're in, you're going to have your personal self that's going to be online. And then a lot of people will have this like digital presence, this avatar presence, right? We all have our sort of our digital presence, whether you're as old as me and you're using Facebook still, or an X, or whether you're, into Snapchat and all these other places, these digital avatars will, kind of be in your place when you're not there, almost like this real time you, this digital twin. So this is a really interesting space. I gotta say, this is really cool times, that we're in here. This is really cool. There's just a lot of things that, you can, really get into, and for really a cheap price point, right? again, 20 bucks a month is, 20 to 30 bucks a month is what? It's a drop in a bucket, considering considering other things. But yeah, drop a comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. Give me a, give me an idea if this series and this type of content is what you like. Um, Again, I started this to really break into what are business ideas that you can run with as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur. I'm very sensitive to that space. I really am. I think there is a massive market out here right now for people that are coming out of layoffs, or they've been laid off for a little while, or they're career transitioners and they're having a really hard time breaking back into their space. I know that I had a tough time breaking back into recruiting, and I said, you know what? I want to do something different. And I went into a long thought process around, what is the best thing for my career and my career path. And you can't go wrong going into AI. You just cannot. I mean, there's just so many different things here. But I'm really big on helping solopreneurs and regular people take an idea that's in their head and build it into something. If you want to talk further, reach out to me privately, DM me, drop a comment, reach out to me separately. Lots of ways to grab me. And I will see you in the next one.